Hello everyone. Today I'll be sharing with you a very simple recipe. It's roast beef in the pressure cooker. We won't be adding any oil or any water, just spices and meat. The meat comes out very delicious, very moist, and very healthy as beef can be. The recipe is very simple and easy to follow. I hope you enjoyed the video and let's begin. The first thing I'm going to be doing is mixing up the spices. I'm using here 1 tablespoon of salt for about 4 pounds of lean beef meat, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. I'll be using also half a teaspoon of ginger powder or ground ginger. You can add up spices to your taste. Or you can omit spices that you don't like. I'm adding here about a teaspoon of cumin powder or ground cumin, about a tablespoon of paprika. Like I said, you can add more spices or you can leave out all the spices and use only salt and black pepper. Mix the spices well and set aside. I will be using about 4 pounds of beef meat, of beef chunks. You can use also meat if you prefer. I washed the meat really well and allowed it to drain. The meat has to be dry. Use the spice mix, rub it all over the meat. Make sure that all the pieces of meat is well seasoned, especially with salt. Place the meat in the pressure cooker. Like you see, we're not going to use any oil or any water, nothing at all. But we will be use a pressure cooker and we will cook the meat over very low. This is very important, very low flame. Use the smallest burners you have, the smallest burner you have, and the meat needs to cook for at least 1.5 hours to 2 hours. The meat will release its moisture and its water and it's gonna cook in it, so no worry, the meat is not gonna burn at all. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be preparing as side dishes green beans that I trimmed and cut in half, also small white potatoes that I peeled. I'm gonna cover them in cold water and boil for about 20 minutes. The potatoes, we know the potatoes are done when we insert a knife and it's inserted easily. That means that the potatoes are tender and cooked through. For the green beans, I'm gonna cook them for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes depending on taste, but you don't want them to be too mushy. I'm adding about a half a teaspoon of salt to the potatoes and half a teaspoon of salt to the green beans just to give it some flavor. And like I stated, boil them for 15 to 20 minutes over medium heat. After about 1.5 hours, I checked the meat. It needed more time to cook, so I closed the pressure cooker and cooked it for 30 more minutes. So the total is about 2 hours of cooking time. Like you see, there is a lots of moisture, lots of water that came out of the meat. I'm gonna place the meat in a baking sheet that's covered with the parchment paper because I want to kind of dry out the meat from the moisture in the oven. I like it kind of dry. So I'm going to place the meat in the oven in about 400-degree preheated oven for about 10 minutes just to dry out the moisture from the meat. I apologize for my broken English. I haven't spoken English in about 5 years, so sorry about that. Here I'm adding about a teaspoon of butter to each pan and a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to grate in 2 to 3 garlic cloves in each pan, and I'm going to saute the vegetables which are the green beans and the potatoes that we cooked already and drained from any water. I am adding the potatoes to the a smaller pan and the green beans to the other pan, and I am going to saute them after I season them with about half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm also going to add about half a teaspoon of cumin to the potatoes and saute them over high heat for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I just want them to soak up the oil and the butter and the get a little bit crispier and not be uh, as mushy from, I don't want boiled potatoes. I just want to give them extra flavor. So I'm going to saute the vegetables for about 5 minutes total. The meat is out of the oven. I left it for about 10 minutes. To serve, I'm simply going to put the meat in a large plate or platter. Serving is, according to taste. You can present the meat as you like. I'm going to put it in the middle of a large plate and add the vegetables around. You can serve the meat with raw vegetables, that would be great too. A green salad. You can sprinkle some cumin on top and extra salt, or you can serve the cumin and the salt on the side for those who like cumin with their meat. It tastes really good. It's very moist. It falls off the bone, and as you saw, it was very very easy. Nothing complicated. Very simple ingredients, like I stated. You can use only salt and black pepper for the meat, and it comes out as delicious. You don't need a lot of ingredients or spices. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Try the recipe and let me know how you liked it. And bon appetit. See you next time. Bye.